I played the Battlefield Hardline's alpha, which was released almost immediately after the game was announced back at E3 of last year. It felt exactly like Battlefield 4, but with faster cars, so I wasn't gonna get it. Then I heard that the campaign was supposed to feel like a cop show, with each level separated into episodes. That sounds pretty cool. That will make the game worth it for me if it has a good campaign. Well... I figured if Hardline's campaign was any good, I'd get the game. Reviews weren't embargoed until the day the game was released, so I had to wait till then to see if it was worth it. And even then, reviews were very mixed about the campaign and nobody even went into much detail about it. And I get it, Battlefield is a multiplayer-centric game, but why couldn't this multiplayer just be an expansion to Battlefield 4? Make it a $40 download that doesn't require the Battlefield 4 disc. It's using the same engine. I'm willing to bet it would have sold just as much, if not more, that way. And it wouldn't have cost them nearly as much. But instead of focusing on what makes this game great, they decided to add a single player so that they can make this a full-priced game on a disc. Another AAA full-priced annual release. I say annual release because this game was supposed to come out last October, but it got pushed back. There was no way this game would have been ready by then, especially with all this development time taken out to make this 8-hour campaign. In this campaign, you play a cop, so you can arrest people. In order to do this, you need to be all stealth. Arresting people levels you up quicker than just straight up shooting them, and leveling up unlocks new weapons, which you can't use if you're trying not to kill anybody. Arresting people in this game is not satisfying, and it is barely fun. I'm a huge fan of stealth games, but there is nothing rewarding about taking somebody down really slowly like this. And a lot of times it feels like you're glitching the game. It doesn't feel right to be able to take somebody down in front of 4 other dudes with guns, and they can't see you because of their short line of sight or hear you even though you're talking right next to them. The game's at its best when the arrests go bad. This is because you get to shoot people. The shooting mechanics in Battlefield are amazing. This is a Battlefield game that tries to encourage you not to shoot people and instead push you towards doing something that's a lot less fun. The game even knows that arrests that go bad are the best part because that's the first thing that happens in the game. The first arrest is set up to go wrong, and after that, I didn't shoot anybody for over an hour. I think the reason they don't encourage you to shoot people is because you're a cop, and they don't want to encourage violent behavior in people of authority. Especially because right after they announced this game, Ferguson happened. I'm sure that they already had arrests in the game, but after Ferguson happened, I think they tried to encourage you to arrest people instead of shoot them. This encourages good behavior, but bad gameplay. Besides all of this, the game looks nice. Sometimes. The facial tracking's great, but some of the character animations are just bad. And in the beginning of the game, too. Usually they polish the hell out of the beginning of the game because that's what most people see. Bad animations just take you right out of the experience. I don't know, maybe I'm spoiled after playing The Order 1886, but Battlefield has some glitches that just should be inexcusable in AAA games these days. And the frame rate is all over the place. The frame rate is actually lower during non-playable parts of the game than it is during playable parts of the game, which is really bizarre. They try to make these transitions seamless, but it's really jarring once they give you control of the character and then it shoots from 30 frames per second to 60 frames per second. It doubles in frame rate. It also seems like the frame rate is inconsistent on PS4, but fairly consistent on Xbox One. This is because it's running at 720p on Xbox One and 900p on PS4. I'd rather have a lower resolution than an inconsistent frame rate. These are all things that could have been ironed out if they either A, gave themselves more time, like another year to develop the game, or B, drop the campaign altogether, focus solely on multiplayer, and release the game for $40, Payday 2 style. Anyway, these are my thoughts. If you wanted to get the game just for the campaign, I'd recommend not doing that. If you want to get it for multiplayer, great. Go right ahead. If you think it's going to be different from Battlefield 4, anyway, what do you guys think? Have any of you guys played it? Do you agree or disagree with anything that I've said? Leave it in the comments below. Add me on Twitter. We now Twitch stream every single Wednesday, so follow us there for that. The most important things you can do to help this channel is subscribe. Share this video with a friend. Thank you very much. Have a good week. This got me thinking, what other games don't have a point? Or what other games are more fun when you ignore the goal that the game defines for you?
you would never have thought, maybe 10 years ago, but like 20 years ago that Nintendo would be trying to put their games on phones.
Yeah.
Or like another
What about
platform.
Sega? Sega's doing that. That's weird.
Yeah.